If you're like me and you just don't mind having tea any time of the day and every day of your life, then you are definitely in the right place, because today I want to teach you guys how I make the yummiest blueberry scones. Oh my gosh, let me tell you guys something. There are so many variations of scones, right? You can have your cranberry scones, you can have your blueberry scones, custard scones, literally coconut scones, plain scones, basic scones, choc chip scones. Guys, let me tell you something. I have baked all these and I have them right here on this channel. So if you're also looking for 5-liter scones, 10-liter scones, 20-liter scones, you are definitely watching the right YouTube channel. And please make sure that you follow, you subscribe, you comment, and let me know where you are watching this from, because it's about to get real. So today let's focus on blueberry scones. So I'm going to use 4 cups of flour, and always remember, I always tell you sift your flour. And let me show you guys everything else I'm using, right, for this recipe. So it's 4 cups of flour, right? And just make sure you follow if you want to bake it, follow as I'm saying it. Coconut flour, right? So this is dedicated coconut, and 2 eggs, and you need some milk, 1.5 cup of milk, and then you need your baking soda, your baking powder, your milk. So I'm using 2 types of mix, and I'm using also blueberries, of course, butter, sugar, and your rolling pin, your teaspoon, your measuring spoon, and definitely your cutter. And then let's just get right into the recipe. All right, so after you measure your 4 cups of flour, just go in also with 2 teaspoons of dedicated coconut, right? So if you just do that, and then make sure also you go with 1/2 cup of your sugar. This is granulated sugar, your white sugar, normal sugar. You can just do with it, right? And then you can also use normal salt, but I'm using a pinch of this Himalaya salt, pink salt, but you can definitely use normal salt, right? And then you come and measure 4 teaspoons of baking powder. This is baking powder, 4 flat teaspoons of baking powder. And then you want to just definitely give them a sift, and also go in with 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So if after you sift it, this always comes out of the baking powder, by the way. So you always need to make sure that you sift it. So put your dry ingredients on the side and start working on your wet ingredients. And your wet ingredients is 2 eggs, right? And so you're just gonna put your 2 eggs. Make sure that you break them nicely without putting the eggshells inside your mixture, right? And then make sure that you also put vanilla milk. If you don't really have like vanilla milk or evaporated milk, it's okay. You can just use normal milk rather, or if you have both, you can mix the two. But if you don't have, you can just use normal milk, or you can use inkomasi, you can use Greek yogurt here, you can even use basic yogurt, plain yogurt. You can definitely use all these in place of inkomasi or milk, right? So just always work with what you have in your kitchen, and don't just be like, okay, because I saw whosoever using this, I'm gonna use that. And definitely you're gonna use your vanilla as well. So my wet ingredients, remember, it's eggs, milk, and vanilla, right? So vanilla essence, eggs, and milk only. Those are the 3 things that are there. And of course I added evaporated milk. Like I said, it's not really like a compulsory thing, so I just do it for just extra flavor, because I also like my scones to be extremely rich. So you want to give them a whisk and mix them properly like this. Once everything is mixed together, you are now going to combine your wet ingredients and your dry ingredients together. All right, so you want to bring back your dry ingredients and make sure that you also give them a whisk, right? So that you make sure that all your ingredients are properly mixed before you combine the two together. So remember, scones are in 3 steps. So you have your butter, and then you have your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients. So after your dry ingredients, you now go in with your butter, right? So after you've mixed your flour with your sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda, and desiccated coconut, you now come in with your butter. And just always make sure that you mix it properly, and you mix it very well until you can't even see any traces of butter in there. So the texture you're looking for after you mix this, so this is 375 grams of butter, right? So the texture that you are looking for after you finish this is exactly what you're seeing right now, like breadcrumbs, like, right? And then this is actually the same texture that you need also if you're making meat pies. So you want to come and just mix your flour together like this. You can use a spatula if you don't want to use your hand. Then after that is done, you go in with your blueberries, right? So this depends on how thick your or you know, it depends on the texture of your flour as well. Like I really sometimes want my scones to be really stiff, because if you really have them stiff, then that's when you can actually like put all these extra blueberries and stuff. But if they're extremely wet, all these things, you cannot really work with them, right? So like I said, so the amount of milk I use in that's the only liquid I put here, is 1.5 cup of milk. So the measuring cup of that I use is the baking measuring cup. So if you want to, so don't just use any mug from your house and say, okay, because I said 1 cup cup that I'm talking about, I am referring to the baking cup, right? So now I want to come in now and flatten them definitely with a rolling pin. Why I do that is because I want to have like an even size of scones. I don't want some of them to be bigger than others, so it's always better if I roll them so they are all equal, right? So they will just look uniform. So after you cut them like this, make sure that you go and preheat your oven as well. So I'm gonna bake these scones at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes, right? So you just set up your oven, and then while you are working on your scones, I'm exactly striving for 20 minutes at 180 degrees with the oven on, up and down, and with the fan on, right? So I'm just setting it up here, as you can see, and then I'm just checking if it's warm and it's working. Then after that, I go back to what I'm doing, which is cutting my scones. So after you cut your scones all equally, so what you need to know also, you need to know the size of your pan, right? Your oven tray. So like my oven tray takes 16 scones at a time, depending on the cutter I'm using. So I've already mastered this green cutter. So that's the thing about baking a lot. You will master things. If you're using a glass to cut your scones, or if you're using any other cutter, you will know how many scones your oven tray can take. So I think that's just a very important thing to note. You need to always know. So if you're using a big cutter, that means you're going to take 12, but if you're using in a standard cutter, you're going to go 16. So if you have an order, for example, you're doing it for business, you always need to have these things in check, always and always. So if you want to know how to get into this scones business, and you're probably just watching this and you're a staying mom, you don't even have anything you're doing right now, you can just feel free to just browse through my page and check out my scones recipes and how you can actually get into this scones business, because it is a very easy business that you can do from your house, just from the comfort of your home, just you and your kitchen, just baking, and you launch it online. You can even launch it on Instagram, TikTok is actually moving, guys, right now. Launch it online on TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram, right? And then even on Gumtree, you can even marketplace on Facebook. Just be known for selling all these things, because they are very good, and you just have really like money to do everything and you need as a woman, right? You have your money for your basic necessities, so it's always good to just like get into this business and do. So I have recipes, and I have videos that are actually like literally just talking about how to get into this business and how to price your scones, how to do your 2.5 liter scones, 5 liter, 10 liter, 20 liter. So just check them out, and please let me know where you're watching this from. It always matters to me. So now I have baked them and glazed them with an egg. It's only egg with a bit of milk, and I'm gonna bake them, like I said, at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes, and after that the outcome will be amazing, right? So guys, like I said, so scones are very easy, and once if you don't know how to bake scones, just keep doing them over and over and over and over again. You eventually get there, right? So you can follow all my recipes. You can follow like first time scone recipe. I have that first time scone recipe, all of them are very, very detailed. So now this is it, and I'm just also now glazing them also with this is icing sugar and just a bit of milk, and voila, my breakfast is ready, and I am ready to have fun, because this is really something I really love doing, and I love baking it, and I really thoroughly enjoy it, and my family loves scones so much. So in this recipe now, I baked literally today I baked blueberry scones, and then I also baked cranberry scones. So right after this video, make sure that you follow me, because I'm going to show you how I also make my cranberry scones, and make sure you subscribe, guys. Please, it is very important that if you like this video and you think you gained something from it, like knowledge, and and you just really enjoyed watching it, please make sure you subscribe and help me to like the video and drop me some black hearts on the comment section, and voila, you are ready to take your baking skills to another level. So my name is Zinhle, and I love baking, and I'm passionate about baking, and I hope I see you on my next video. So bye for now.